One of my favorite topics to talk about is pricing. What should you charge? Whether it's a service or a product, you need to figure out what you should charge. How do you do that? Right now on the Biz Talk. I think pricing should be more of a overall goal and strategy. For example, I want to make this much money per year, right?
Right. How are you going to do that?
How are you going to do that? Yeah. Instead of thinking about how to price my service individually, what about starting with how much do I want to make in this business annually every single year? So you're starting with more big picture,
right? And
then you back it up into individual services,
right?
What's your take on that? I really believe in that.
It's really good, I guess that's kind of what I did, because I had a goal in mind of how many days I wanted to work.
Okay, like when you first started, right?
Yeah, how many days I wanted to work and what I needed to make and what I wanted to make, right?
Right.
So I guess that's kind of what I did, is I worked backwards from there. I did go into the salon and keep the pricing, but it worked with what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you said something kind of huge there. What I needed to make and what I wanted to make. What I needed to make being what you've got to bring in to pay your bills, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then ultimately what you're striving for down the road, what you want to make, what's your ultimate goal.
Right.
Yeah. That's a nice kind of way to start. So let's take a look at this for 1 second, okay? For example, if I say ultimately I want to make $100,000 a year doing nails, what does that actually look like in terms of what should I charge? Okay, so sorry, I'm going to do a little math here. If I take
need the calculator for that?
Yes, I do. If I take $100,000. Okay, and I'm going to divide it by 52 weeks in the year.
Yep.
Okay, so 100 divided by 52 weeks. It's about $2,000 a week.
Okay.
$2,000 a week divided by 5 days. That's $400 a day. This is how somebody should really go about thinking about this. Is like, I got to make $400 a day. Okay, how many services does that mean? That means if I do, sorry, let me do this again. If I got $400 and I divide that by how many clients per day? 8 clients?
Sure.
Okay, that's $50 a service.
Right.
I'm just taking an average, right? So, sorry. we're going, I'm just taking an average. We're going 5 days a week, 8 clients a day, okay? That's $50 a person that you have to charge, and that means your book is full to make $100,000 in revenue. That's how I go about thinking, our business.
Which you have to, but unfortunately, this is why it's such a great subject, is most nail techs don't.
How do most nail techs go about this?
They don't think about breaking it down. They don't think about their overhead. They don't think about their product costs. They don't think about all that stuff. About, you got 100,000, but what comes out of that 100,000, or I'm good with 50,000, but how much? I spent $1,000 a month in product.
Right, that's what you were spending.
Yeah,
right.
And that was 8 years ago.
Right. As a business, the way that I think about it is like, how much? What's the potential? What do I want to sell?
Yep.
So I break that down into how many units we want to move. Is it realistic? So in your case, it's clients, like how we just broke it down.
Yep.
But then you're talking about 8 clients a day. What is my cost on 8 services? How much is that going to cost in product? What's my weekly rent? So like, for example, if you got a weekly rent of, let's just call it $300 a week. Okay, just $300 a week divided by 5. That's $60 a day plus product. So
it's more than one client a day.
That's more than one client a day, exactly.
Yep.
That to break even on product, rent, and then after those expenses are covered, you take home and it's like you got to pay your bills. So
health insurance,
everything else, exactly. So what should you charge per service? Well, let's start with how much do you want to make?
Like,
And if coming out of school, I get it. Like coming out of school, are you gonna be able to charge? Are you gonna be able to charge enough to make $100,000 a year? I don't know. It depends on your skill level, but it at least sets you up for a goal, right?
Goal. That's the important thing. Like, what do they always say? You should have like a 5-year plan.
5-year plan.
Right. So same thing with nails. It is a business, so we have to have those plans. How do we plan it out?
Yeah.
How are we going to give ourselves those raises? Are we charging extra for all the little glitters and things that people tend to give away?
Right.
Then you're like $50. Okay, well I have to make $50 a full set. Well, most techs, we've been taught, and this is not true, but we've been taught that you charge half for a fill.
Yeah.
So now I can't make $100,000.
You know what, Trace? I think the simple answer is don't do that.
Please don't.
Just don't do that. If you're gonna spend an hour doing a fill as much as you would for a full set, let's just say for example, charge the same. You know what I mean? Again, it comes back to the math. Do the math. Back it up, right?
Right.
Back it up, and then say, like Trace was saying, like a 5-year goal. I want to make $100,000 in 5 years. That means you know what you got to do. You know what you got to charge per service and how many clients you got to get in the door. So, don't start with, I'm going to charge $30 per set. No, start with, I want to make in the first year, let's say $50,000. Okay.
Yeah, like you have to, and make them attainable goals.
Right.
Not low goals, but
Right.
like something that you can strive for and work for. Like
Correct.
you can't mail it in.
Well,
this is all work.
It's all work. I mean, imagine this helps me in business because if I know I gotta basically hustle for 8 clients a day, okay, over, let's say a 2-week period, right? You're basically every 3 weeks, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks. You're
2 to
turning
3
over?
weeks, yeah.
Okay, so every 2 to 3. Let's just call it 3 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, 8 times. That's 40 clients a week. 3 weeks. That's 120 clients.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
So you want to make $100,000 a year? You got to go hustle for 120 clients. You know what I'm doing every single day? I'm working 15 freaking hours a day, and I am making it happen. And it's going to take time. That's the thing.
And I did the same thing in the salon. I'm not much of a morning person. Oh,
What?
yeah, shock.
I never noticed
So
that.
I'm here awfully early.
Yes.
But I worked from 9 to 8 or 9 o'clock at night
Correct.
because I don't mind staying up late. That's nothing to me. So and once I got to a certain point, I got a little greedy. Like I did more than 8 clients in a day. It
Right.
would take me, I would get every 30 minutes to an hour. I was rotating my clientele.
You were moving them.
So then I was able to make more money.
Right.
And add in or reduce my days.
Correct.
But that's all part of the technique that you have to build up to that.
Correct.
And it's a lot of work.
That's why it's always about backing it up, okay? What you want to make, what you need to make, and then back that number up. Okay, I need to make $40,000 a year in order to be comfortable. Anything over that is gravy. Yeah. What does 40 grand a week look like? On a daily basis, how much you got to make, how many clients you got to pick up, and then you get on the aggressive and you go pick up those customers. And we'll get into more details as far as the marketing part, especially social media, in future episodes. But right now, get that number, back it up, figure out what you got to make daily, and then work that into, okay, well, this is how much I probably need to be charging, and then go get that money. Yes or no?
Definitely. And then there's so much more to talk about, like how do we make the same amount of money no matter what we're doing?
No matter what we're doing.
We've got so much to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about in future episodes. We hope you enjoyed this Biz Talk. Please comment below. Let's get the conversation going on this subject. We love all the interaction.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. And we'll see you next week on the Biz Talk.